Unmasking the Truth, The Man in the Iron Mask. Part 1. The King and His Shadow. France, 17th century, a time of splendor, power, and fear. Louis XIV sat on the throne, the son king ruler of the most powerful nation in Europe. His word was law, his image divine. But where there is light, there must be shadow, and one shadow would haunt his reign, a man with no name, no face, no past. They called him the Man in the Iron Mask. Louis XIV ruled with unmatched authority. He had inherited the throne at just 5 years old, and grown into a king obsessed with control. His court at Versailles shimmered with gold. But behind the silks and mirrors were whispers, plots, secrets, fear. Power had to be absolute. Even a rumor of a rival could be fatal. So when a mysterious prisoner appeared in 1669, the court took notice. He was sent to Pignerol, a remote fortress prison in the Alps. His jailer, Benin de Saint-Mars, a trusted royal officer known for his silence. But this prisoner was unlike any other. He arrived under cover of night, with orders directly from the king. No one was allowed to speak to him, not even the guards. His cell had 2 doors to silence his voice. He was given no trial, no charges, no name, and when he was moved, he wore a mask. Some say it was velvet, others iron, a face erased, a life silenced. But why? Part 2. Inside the prison walls. Pignerol was no ordinary prison. It was a fortress of silence, carved into the mountains of southeastern France. Cold stone, damp air, iron gates that rarely opened. Most prisoners were political, men who had crossed the king, but this one was treated with chilling precision. Saint-Mars obeyed every order. No errors, no questions. Saint-Mars recorded little about the prisoner, just enough to show he was fed and locked away. His meals were simple, delivered without speech. Books were allowed, but writing was forbidden. When he fell ill, he received care, but no conversation. Even the walls were scrubbed, to erase any trace he might leave behind. And yet he lived, year after year, alone. When Saint-Mars was transferred to another prison, Exiles, the prisoner moved with him, then again to Sainte Marguerite Island, and finally to the Bastille in Paris, each time under the same silence, the same mask, always under Saint-Mars's watch. By now, decades had passed. The prisoner aged in shadows, unseen, unspoken. In 1703 he died. No funeral, no name. He was buried under a false identity, Marcaille. His face remained covered, even in death. No one came for him. No one claimed him. The state erased the man, but not the mystery. Part 3. Theories and suspicions. The man was dead. But the questions had only just begun. Who was he? Why was he masked? Why the silence? Why a lifetime of secrecy? Historians, writers, and dreamers have spent centuries chasing the truth. Theories abound, some grounded in fact, others wrapped in fantasy. All share one thing: a prisoner so dangerous, his identity had to vanish. Theory 1. The king's twin, the most famous theory, and the most dramatic. He was said to be the twin brother of Louis XIV, born in secret, hidden from the world. A twin could claim the throne, a threat to the Sun King's rule. Voltaire believed it. Dumas wrote it. Hollywood embraced it. But records show no royal twin was ever born. Or were those records altered? Could a birth be hidden in Versailles, perhaps? The queen was heavily guarded, but midwives, servants, and courtiers all watched her closely. Still, a royal family desperate to avoid scandal might go to any length, but historians argue no evidence. No letters, no whispers in foreign courts. The twin theory is thrilling, but likely myth. Theory 2. Eustache Dogger. This name appears in prison logs. The only clue, a man arrested in 1669, the right year. Some say he was a valet, a servant to powerful nobles. He may have overheard something terrible. Like the affair of the poisons, a scandal of witches, poisonings, and black masses that nearly destroyed Louis's court. Did Dogger know too much? Was he caught between nobles and secrets? St. Mars recorded orders. Keep him silent. Guard him closely. Do not speak to him on pain of death. It matches. But why a mask? Valets weren't usually silenced for life, unless what he heard could shake the kingdom. Theory 3. A political rival. Some believe he was a high-ranking noble, a general maybe, or even a foreign prince. One named Count Ercole Mattioli, an Italian diplomat who betrayed France in a secret deal. He was arrested and vanished. Marchioli sounds like Mattioli. Coincidence or the same man? But Mattioli was public. This prisoner was hidden. Too hidden. Theory 4. Personal revenge. A final idea. The king's own wrath. Perhaps the prisoner wasn't political at all. Perhaps he offended the king personally. An affair, a betrayal, a broken trust. Louis XIV ruled with pride and fury. If this man angered him, a fate worse than death awaited. Erasure, eternal silence, a punishment without end. Part 4. The Mask Itself, Legend versus Reality. 16. The Mask. It's the heart of the legend, the image burned into history. A man face forever hidden, behind cold, unforgiving iron. But did he really wear iron? Not at first. Most early reports suggest black velvet, soft, dark, easy to conceal, enough to hide his identity without torturing him. So where did iron come in? The iron mask appeared in later stories. Voltaire mentioned it. Then Dumas made it iconic. Why iron? Because it was terrifying, because it lasted, because it looked like punishment. A metal face, sealed tight, silent forever. That image captured the public and refused to let go. Fact became myth, and myth became immortal. But even if the mask was cloth, the horror was real. He could not remove it. He could not be seen. Guards were told, kill him if he speaks of his past. Not even a glimpse of his face was allowed. He was treated not as a man, but a secret. A threat so great, his very features were dangerous. That is the true power of the mask. And so the prisoner moved from fortress to fortress, still masked, still voiceless, and yet he remained a model inmate. Never attempted escape, never caused trouble. He read, he prayed, he aged alone. It was not a sentence of years, but of silence, a lifetime inside a mystery. Part 5. The Final Years in the Bastille. In 1698, St. Mars was appointed governor of the Bastille, Paris's most feared prison. He brought one prisoner with him, still masked, still unnamed. Records describe him only as the oldest of St. Mars's prisoners. His cell, high in the tower, window barred, door double locked, no visitors, no letters, no escape. In the Bastille, even the guards were hand-picked. They were forbidden to speak to the prisoner, forbidden to learn his name. If they did, they faced death. One slip of the tongue, one whisper could unravel everything. And still, after decades of silence, the man obeyed. He never shouted, never begged, never broke. Then, on November 19th, 1703, he died. No family came, no friends mourned, only St. Mars was there. The body was buried under the name Marcaille, a false identity. All his belongings were burned, all documents destroyed, the walls of his cell scrubbed clean, no trace left, no evidence, only questions. Even the burial was suspicious. Parish records were altered, dates didn't match, names were misspelled. Who was this man, that the state would erase every detail? Who dies in prison after 34 years and leaves behind no name, no record, no trace? Not a common criminal, not a forgotten soldier, but someone powerful, or dangerous, or both. Part 6, Legacy and Legend. The man was gone, but his story was just beginning. Whispers spread, from guard to city, from cell to salon. Who was the masked prisoner? A twin? A traitor? A ghost locked away by royal decree? The public didn't forget. They imagined. They invented. They told and retold the tale. In the 18th century, Voltaire, the great philosopher, spoke of the masked man. He claimed the prisoner was noble, possibly royal. He had seen the Bastille. He had heard rumors from inside. Voltaire wrote, he was a man of stature and mystery, always masked, always watched. His words fanned the fire. Then came Alexandre Dumas, the master of historical fiction. In 1847, he published The Vicomte of Bragelonne, the final tale of the Three Musketeers. In it, the masked man was not just a prisoner, he was a twin, Louis XIV's secret brother, hidden from birth, locked away to protect the crown. Adventure, betrayal, redemption. It became legend. Dumas's tale was pure fiction, but irresistible. Soon the story was everywhere, stage plays, poems, political speeches, and later, film. From early silent cinema to modern blockbusters, the mask returned again and again. Each version changed the man, but kept the mystery. Some made him a hero, others made him a victim. Some showed him escaping, others let him die in chains. But in all of them, he had a face we couldn't see and a past we'd never know. Because that's the power of mystery. It haunts, it lingers. It makes us look closer at what power can hide and what history forgets. Part 7. Final Theories and Closure. So who was the man in the iron mask? We may never know. But here are the final contenders. A royal twin hidden to protect the throne. A Valet Eustache dogger who heard a deadly secret. A nobleman with a forbidden claim to power. A scapegoat used to cover up a royal scandal. Each theory has clues. None has proof. What makes this story powerful isn't just the mystery. It's the silence. A man stripped of name, face, and voice. A man erased from history, but remembered through legend. Why? Because someone, somewhere, decided his truth was too dangerous, and built a prison of silence to hold it. The man in the iron mask was more than a prisoner. He was a warning. That power, unchecked, can hide anything, even a life. That history is written by those who speak, and erased from those who can't, and that some truths are buried not in the past, but beneath fear. Over 300 years have passed. Still, we wonder, who was he? What did he do? Why was he silenced? Maybe we'll never know. But the mask remains as symbol and mystery, and behind it, a story that refuses to die. This is Hidden Facts in Rare History. For more forgotten stories, lost lives, and buried truths, like, comment, and subscribe, because history isn't just what's remembered. It's what's hidden